Hi everyone, my name is Anna Stegerda, and for the past couple of weeks I have been studying the country of Australia, so I'm going to share with you what I have learned. So Australia lies between the Pacific and Indian Oceans. It's the world's smallest continent and is surrounded on all sides by water. So the history of Australia, from Dudgeon's and a group of other authors' work, it can be concluded that Australia's history is very straightforward. In 1606, there was a small group of settlers that landed on Australia, but in the 1780s, the first official group of British settlers had made a home on Australia. Prior to their arrival, there was less than 300,000 Aboriginal people living there. As the settlers started to move inland and invade the Aboriginals' land, the conflicts began. The Aboriginals lost their land and were constantly forced to move, although they did not do this without a fight. So in the mid-1800s, the large migration into the Midlands of Australia happened. Many Aboriginal groups were threatened and their lives were taken as they fought for their rights and their land. The Aboriginal Protection Act of 1883 focused on giving Aboriginals protection and greater authority in their own affairs. There were many acts to follow which had focused on different areas or specific regions. The 1967 Commonwealth referendum granted full citizenship to all Australian Aboriginal peoples. So Australia today, the population stands just under 24 million. Australia is in the top 50 largest countries by population according to a ranking system developed by Worldometer. From the Human Development Reports, the life expectancy of an Australian is 82.8 years, and it is estimated that Australians will spend about 20.2 years in education on average. So the culture in Australia is really unique. McCrindle research in 2012 found that about 61% of Australians' population would define themselves as Christians. This is a pretty high percentage, over half of the country, but the number of active Christians is rapidly declining. Of the 24 million people in Australia, only 3% make up a group of Aboriginals. Aboriginals are found living in groups in reservation-like areas, and they are strong to their traditions and their beliefs. Australia is an English-speaking country. Communication is very important. According to Katz, Negotiating International Business, Australians are very straightforward and upfront. They are strong-minded and will speak their opinions or thoughts. Gestures or animation are not that important in communication. Instead, tone of voice or amount of effort put into a conversation is what is focused on. So the government in Australia can be easily compared to that of the United States. So from Australia's political system, it is stated that the system and levels follow the Australian Constitution. There is a national government as well as local governments. Australia's representative is shared with the United Kingdom, Queen Elizabeth II. The national government is a bicameral and split into two chambers, the House of Representatives and the Senate. The House of Representatives initiates the laws while the Senate checks and passes them. Local and state governments are responsible for all laws not dealt with by the national government. According to Human Development Records, the unemployment rate in Australia is about 5.2%. About 58.8% of females are employed. This is kind of low compared to the United States because women are just now starting to get away from the stay-at-home, like mother role. Although it is now more likely to find a woman in the workforce, they're still not given the same opportunities as men, and they generally receive lower income and have to work their way up to higher positions. The gross national income is $42,260. So a couple key things in the business are leadership and motivation. From Kouzes and Posner's Why is Leadership Different in Australia? It was stated that leadership does not depend on a business title or how much money someone is making, but instead it relies on relationships and actions between people. Trust is a key factor and is very important in a leader found in Australia. Australians in the workforce are not motivated necessarily by their income levels or positions, but instead they are motivated by recognition and approval from their peers and superiors. They also try to set good examples for their kids or for people younger than them, because they want to be someone that they want to be a role model for others. So from the cultural orientations model, from Walker's description, I think Australia falls under the action being oriented. This is because Walker describes this as valuing affiliations, character, and personal qualities. Because their leadership and motivation values these as a key condition, I think that these values give a better understanding of how Australians act in the business environment. The largest company in Australia is currently BHP Billiton, according to Australia Business Review. BHP is a large multinational mining and petroleum company. It has been growing since the 1800s. BHP's main focus that has made them so successful is leadership and sustainability. Australia is known for their stable political environment. As the country keeps growing, businesses are also growing and new businesses are emerging. With the belief that teamwork is vital to success, it is not unusual for large businesses to work together and combine their powers and strengths. So with that, thank you for taking the time to listen today, and I hope you have learned some new things about Australia.